Hey Internet, Eric here. Okay, this video is a long time coming, I guess you would say. I watched the first film and I have reviewed it here on this channel a handful of years ago in a series. You know, there is a playlist, a series of videos that uh, the concept's no longer being done. It hasn't been done in a long time. The Bronco and Eric review series. One of the first films that I was told to review and discuss was the first Terrifier movie. I did. I watched it. I thought it was okay. Probably something I would never revisit. Um, and how do I say this? I'd never revisit unless like somebody on YouTube that I'm good friends with wants to discuss it. Like I recently, like just a handful. Like this is Saturday. This past was it Tuesday or Monday? I think it was Monday. I was on the Night Watch Zone, and me and Night discussed Terrifier. And with the third one coming out, I figured, fuck it. Let's talk Terrifier 2. And regardless of what I have to say, I gotta say that it is a badass poster. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. A little bit of a backstory to myself in this film. Um, like I said, what I said about the first film, and if you want to go check out that video, that'd be great. Uh, when this came out, I wasn't really interested, but there was so much praise and talk and hoopla over this film about how much money it's making in the theaters, how it tops the original in gore and this and that. I figured, fine, I'll watch it. Maybe not discuss it on my channel, but I'll watch it. And I couldn't finish the movie. I couldn't finish it. Now, granted, it was after 1 a.m. and I was fucking plastered. But I got maybe an hour through and I said, fuck it. I'm done. And it's not because it was over the top and excessively gory, which we'll get into, but it's just like, I don't want to watch this. You know, it's boring, it's stupid, and it's been months and months since I returned to it. Sometimes movies deserve a second watch. Sometimes the movies need a second watch to process it. You know, shout out to Joker 2. You know, just letting people know about that. Um, let's get into it. Okay, basic plot of this is it takes place right after the first film ended. So Art wakes up in the mortuary, wakes up on the slab, kills the coroner, and goes off on his merry way to create mayhem. We are also following this the lead actress. Again, I've always said I'm terrible with names. Um, she is getting ready for a Halloween party. Her and her brother basically have to deal with Art the Clown. There isn't much plot to it. Surprise, surprise. Uh, here we go. First off, the characters. Um, I thought the characters were actually really good. I thought it was a major improvement over the first film. I'm very surprised that I'm saying that. Again, like I said, it's after a rewatch, you know, and how you are when you rewatch a film, you look at them differently. I really liked the characters. I liked the lead actress. I thought she was really good. She had good chemistry with her brother. She had good chemistry with her mom when she had to be with her mom. Um, she's really good at dealing with the tragic situation of her father. You know, her father passed away. We'll get into that. Um, dealing with that stress, dealing with just trying to survive in a world that she doesn't think accepts her. And then finally, in the final act, she becomes this really cool, badass final girl, I guess you would say. Other characters, the younger brother is fine. He's good at being scared. He's very likable. You don't want him to die. He's not that annoying little brother. Although he's probably, what, 13, 14, 15 and still calling his mother mommy. Don't know about that. But he's fine. The girl's friends are fine. I like her friend that she goes to the Halloween party with. Um, she's very nice. She's very likable, even though she does have that little bit of an attitude, like when they have to leave the party earlier because the what is her name? It's bugging me. The lead actress's character. Um, she she the best. I don't care. It doesn't matter what her character's name is. Her friend puts some like LSD or something in her drink, and it causes her to have fun. And then she sees visions, and she has a freak out. So they have to leave the party early. The best friend does a good job of still being a sympathetic best friend when she tells the backstory of her father, but still like she's justified in kind of she's pissed off to why they had to leave the party. Likable. The mom is fine, dealing with the PTSD of her husband and how he died, dealing with how the kid, her son, could possibly be causing trouble at school, and his obsession with Art the Clown, yada yada yada. Other characters in the film, there aren't that many main characters. Like Felissa Rose is there for 30 seconds. Kind of wish she would have been there more. If it's a big name in horror like Felissa, she's there as like a teacher, yells at some kids, and she's gone. That's it. Um, so the characters are fine. David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, fantastic. Because this film is a hell of a lot longer than the first film, David has much more to do. Art is still a silent performance. Again, the way David makes Art seem so giddy in what he's doing, he's having fun. There's a scene where Art has just killed the mother, and he's showing off the body to the son, and it's like it's dinner, and he's serving mashed potatoes to her, and he's just like, just happy. What do you think? Does it look good? That type of stuff. David doing David stuff, happily, gleefully, torturing these people, and his performance is so amazing. And I've said that before. Despite what I think of these films as a whole, David is amazing as Art. The score of this film is so fucking good, so creepy, so menacing. It really gets the tension up. I'm super surprised that I'm giving this praise to this film because of how it went the first time I attempted to watch it. But the score is so good. The set design is great. I love I don't know if it's a bar or whatever where they're having the Halloween party. It's a lot of fun. Eventually, this lead actress has to save her brother at like an abandoned amusement park. And there's a lot of great set designs there for, there is a ride called the Terrifier. Is it a ride or is it more like a haunted house? I think it's a haunted house. But just the set designs on that, with the monsters and the blood and stuff like that, it's a lot of fun. This is like a perfect like Halloween time movie. The gore. Here we go. The gore is great. You know what I mean? You can tell they have a bigger budget. But like the last film, it's so over the top and gratuitous to me that takes me out of the film. And don't get me wrong, I know I might sound like a hypocrite because I like deathmatch wrestling and stuff like that. But again, it's all in the context of how it's done. Art is sadistic. Art likes to torture people, and I get that. But when these torture scenes and these kill scenes are ongoing, and they don't stop, and it's so excessive, and oh my God, he's still hacking and slashing. Okay, so now like one of the best friends, she's attacked in her room, and Art has a scalpel, and he's slicing and dicing. Okay, we get that, and then of course let's up it a little more. So then he has to scalp her, and we get to see not just a quick scalp and cut and a rip. We get to see him digging the scalpel into her forehead, and that's not enough. After that, he attacks. No, he leaves her for dead. Comes back and just for the hell of it, pours bleach and salt in her wounds. And that's not it. She goes onto the bed, and he's cutting her up and chopping her up. And then he grabs her arm, and then he breaks it at the elbow, and then he rips it off. It's way too much, and it's just like, God damn, okay, we get it. I liked the scene with, like I just said, where he's got the mom's dead body sitting at the table, and he's feeding her mashed potatoes in front of the kid, or he's putting mashed potatoes on the plate. That's creepy, that's scary, but then we have to go one step further, and then he literally takes the mashed potatoes and smashes it into the hole that was once the mom's face, and cramming the mashed potatoes in it. I get it. You know what I mean? Her death, the mom's death, was great. Art is blaming a lot of this trouble on the kid. So the mom goes into the garage, sees her car is covered in toilet paper and smashed pumpkins. She thinks the son did it. And that causes a good scene where I hate to say it, she lets her frustrations out on the boy and slaps him, and he runs away. It's tough. It's a tough scene. It's really good. The acting is really well done. And then she goes and sees the car, and she thinks he did it. And as she's cleaning the shaving cream off the driver's side window, it's a great boom shock reveal. There's Art. He pulls out a gun, blows her head off. And it's a great special effect. Her face just boom. Loved it. But then, of course, we just have to add a little bit more to it. We already had a great head explosion, but then we just cut to the wall, and then her scalp. Didn't need it. So over excessive. I mean, I get it. That's the point of these films. When the best friend is being attacked by Art, he's stabbing her and stabbing her and stabbing her and doing his thing, and then he has to just rip her chest open. So that took me out of it because they just go on for so long. What else didn't I like? There is this weird subplot. I don't get it. There's two things going on. First, let's talk about the little clown girl. Now, this movie started great. David Howard Thornton, again, doing Art things. You don't expect some of the things Art does. After he killed the funeral director or whatever, the mortician, he literally walks into a laundromat because he's covered in blood, gets naked, puts his clothes into the washing machine, and he literally sits down and he just starts reading the newspaper. And David is doing David things. He sees a newspaper headline of 4 people dead or something like that. He's laughing, pointing, having a good time. And then he looks over and he sees this little girl dressed just like Art, painted up, and I'm wondering where this is going. And again, you get the creepy stuff, but then you have to be gross because then it cuts to the little girl's legs, and I don't know if she's having her period or if she's shitting on herself, but we get all this dark fluid shooting all over the ground. For what? Because Art likes to play with poop because that's what he did in the first film? Okay. So then we kind of find out that this little ghost girl who seems to be helping Art, and only Art can see him, and then the main girl because she's starting to have visions. So like he's playing patty cake with her, but there's like a security guard who wakes up that is at the laundromat, and he sees Art playing with himself, not playing with himself, but patty caking, with himself. So I get it that this is either a vision or a spirit. You find out that this girl resembles one of Art's previous victims that happened before the first film. So is this girl, this little clown chick, is she... Because she helps Art kidnap the younger brother and take him to the amusement park, which is where the girl was murdered. And, of course, that brings in the final girl. And then, of course, in the end of the movie, they kill Art. And then the girl shows up, takes Art's head, and disappears. So I guess you could say she was doing all this to help kill Art and get revenge on him and maybe put her soul at rest. But still, why is this girl scaring the little kid? Like when the kid walks into a room and sees her at a makeup mirror, and she turns and she's cutting her face up. Like, I get it, that's probably what she looked like when Art was finished with her, but why is she tormenting or scaring this little boy? Goes nowhere. And now, let's get to the final girl and her father and the fucking sword. I haven't mentioned that yet. The girl has a dream, and we're on, I don't know, Clown Town Cafe or something stupid like that. It's a children's show, and it's just a bunch of adults because it's her dream, because dreams are weird. It's a bunch of adults dressed as kids, and they're waiting for Art the Clown. We've all seen him. He comes out of the car or the train, and he's here type of thing. And it's just him killing everybody. It's long, it's excessive, and I'm rolling my eyes. I'm like, okay, it's been 15, 20 minutes. I get it. And she wakes up to a fire in her room because she's making her costume, and she's got candles all lit up. She blows out all the candles. She wakes up. There's a fire. Everything is destroyed except for this sword that her father gave her. And I think he drew comics, I think, because he created these comic book characters or something like that, because that's what her costume is as a tribute to her father. The sword was the only thing that wasn't damaged. Okay. So we're going now to the final act of the film. And we find out that the dad had, brain cancer, I think, lack of a better term. He started seeing visions. He started losing his mind. He started being abusive to the family. He was obsessed with art and like art as in Art the Clown, not art as in the the hobby or whatever. Because the dad had a journal of drawings of the previous victims and newspaper clippings and everything, and it caused a lot of tragedy at the house, and he ended up killing himself. So fast forward now, maybe that has been passed down to this final girl because she can now see the clown kid, and like I said, she's having visions. But is she also a superhero? Because she is kidnapped by Art. She's already been whipped to fucking death with like a cat of nine tails with hooks. And she's thrown into this, the whole, what was his name? Houdini box that's filled with water. And she drowns. But something happens. Light flashes, her wounds light up, and she's brought back to life. My wife was on the couch, like on her iPad. She looked over. She'd been kind of paying attention, wondering what's going on. I'm just saying, Rachel, just don't ask. I'm doing my best, but don't ask. She looked at this scene when this was happening. And remember, she's dressed like an angel, but with battle armor. And my wife really looked, so what? This chick's Wonder Woman now? I looked at her and said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why she was brought back to life. She's fighting Art. She's saving her brother. I think she ends up having the sword. She finds the sword somehow. I don't remember. I think Art took it. I think Art took the sword, and she found it in his hideout. She's chopping him up and hacking him, and Art looks like he's finally suffering with a lot of pain. She hacks his head off, and there's still no explanation. We still don't know why Art's supernatural, who he is. Don't know what the deal is with the little ghost girl, even though I'm kind of putting two and two together. And I don't know why the sword's magical. Now, I get that Damien Leone has a trilogy planned, and I think he's writing it as a trilogy. Maybe it's like we get the explanation in part 3. I don't know. But that made no sense. And then I'm waiting for the end of the film because in the credits, they said Chris Jericho's in this movie. And the movie just ended. We have this cool badass moment with this final girl hacking and slashing him. She looks cool, covered in blood, holding the sword. He's dead. The little girl takes the head away. She hugs her brother. I'm wondering where the fuck is Chris Jericho. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a mid-credit scene, and we cut to the insane asylum, and that's where the survivor of the first film is. The one that has, her face is all mangled, and she's there because she lost her mind due to the events of the first film, and then she attacked a news reporter. Chris Jericho's a security guard. And this lady is, she lost her mind, and it looks like she's, again, having a period. She's bleeding from her crotch, and she's writing stuff all over the wall. And she literally puts a heart that says whatever her name is, plus Art. So now this woman is in love with Art. Okay, I guess. And then we see her stomach. She's pregnant. Now, this is a year later. She would have had a baby by now if Art did something to her. But he didn't. Obviously, that was not in the film. So, again, this is Art being supernatural Art because the motherfucker can't die. The orderly walks in, hearing her screaming, opens the door. This woman gives birth, and she's holding on to, still with the umbilical cord, hooked to her and hooked to what she gave birth to. It's Art's head, and he's smiling. The fuck? I don't get it. Final thoughts. Final thoughts on Terrifier 2. All right. I'm glad I revisited this film in a better state of mind and during the day, not at fucking 1 in the morning, because I can appreciate a lot of it. I really love David as Art. Art's not a horror icon yet, but he's fucking getting there. I think by the time the third film comes out, he's going to be a horror icon because regardless of what I think of the movies, his character really has this following, and he's really good. I liked the characters in this film. Damien Leone heard the criticism about the first film, made this a character-driven sequel, and it works. I like all these characters. I don't want them to die. The special effects, as in the practical effects, are really, really good, and Damien was behind that. The makeup, the violence for what it is and how it looks is really, really well done. But like the first film, I'm just drawn out just because of how long these kills and torture scenes are. We get it. You want to draw the line, you want to cross that line, but this time, kind of like what he did in the first film, he jumped over the line. This time, the motherfucker pole vaulted over it. And it's just too excessive for me because I'm like, okay, it could be over now. We get it. You don't need to pour bleach on the open wounds and then pour salt on it and then attack her even more, and the poor girl is still alive. That kill with the shotgun or whatever it is, the little hand cannon, whatever. I'm not a gun person. I don't know. When he kills the mom, that face explosion, fantastic. But when you throw the scalp against the wall just to say you threw a scalp against the wall, you didn't need it. We didn't need the kids getting in trouble because they find a possum, a dead possum, and they're poking it with a stick, and they have to lift it up, and we have to see the guts pour out of it, and then they pick it up and throw it on a girl. We don't need that stuff. At least I don't need it, because it's just gore and for the sake of gore, and it's just kind of pointless to me. Now, I like the Saw films. I like deathmatch wrestling. I will never return to Terrifier 2. Just like the first one. Unless someone that I'm friends with wants to discuss it, I will discuss it. I might return to it, but I will, other than that, I'll probably never watch this again. And yes, I'll probably watch the third one and discuss it, but God bless you fans that love Art the Clown. At least I like Art the Clown. But I don't, like I said, the excessive violence is just too much. I get it. This didn't have to be 2 hours and 12 minutes. But yeah, I've said enough. Bless you guys who enjoy the films. It has its place in horror history with things that are so over the top and gratuitous and uncomfortable, like Cannibal Holocaust or, say, Last House on the Left. It's got its place. Maniac, I guess. I haven't seen Maniac, but I guess I've seen the remake, but it's just like this. So not for me. I think what did Sarah say it in our in our stream with Nightwatch? It's not for me, but hey, you made a movie. I didn't make a movie. Good job. It's something like that. But not a fan. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Sorry this video was longer than I expected it to be, but I'm glad I rewatched it because I was able to find some good. A lot more than I thought I was going to find, but like and subscribe, comment below. Do you love this movie? Bless you. Tell me why. Tell me why you love this film, because there are plenty of people that love this film and are super excited for Terrifier 3. Tell me why in the comments below. If you hate this film, tell me why in the comments below. Click the bell, all that stuff. Interesting things planned. I don't know what I'm going to do for next week, but I am prepping for Shocktober, 13 days of Halloween, 13 films, 13 uploads from the 19th, one a day from the 19th to the 31st. Got some crap on there that I'm sure I'm going to hate. And I got some stuff that I'm looking forward to watching. And I have two interviews scheduled sometime this month. Deathmatch Wrestler, Dr. Redacted. WCPW star, Calvin Coco. Next month, I have Mike from the Graveyard Shift Horror Podcast. I have him committed to an interview. It's good to be doing them again. And I got a few other people in mind. So with that, like and subscribe, all that crap I've already said 100 times. Check out Terrifier 2 and tell me if you like it or hate it in the comments below. Cheers.